Da, 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 da. STEM research is back. My name is Mike MFN Love. How's it going? How you doing? What's happening, people? Hope your day has gone well. Mine is going incredibly. And now it's time for the STEMs. Song Tracks Essential Music is the show. STEM research is what we do. We play the STEMs, we do the research, and the stimulators get involved. What's going on? How's it going? How you doing? How you doing? I got a 24-hour block from the Blue app. I found that out today when I went to go post every day when I do this show, Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. I go to two places to update, actually three. I go to my Twitter page, which is Mike MFN Love. I go to my Facebook page, and I go to my IG page, Instagram, all at Mike MFN Love. And I post what's coming up for the day. Like, what are the STEMs for the day? People that look forward to the show or maybe want to tune in would like to know. Oh, I like those songs. Can't wait for the show. Or, I don't know what the hell that is. Maybe I'll slide through. Maybe I won't. Or, those songs suck. I'll see you when you get some better joints. But today was one of those days where there was no post on Facebook, but there was a post on Instagram. So people were like, hey, and when I say people, I mean two people, Elliot Range and Marcus Chapman, were like, hey, how come this wasn't on Facebook today? And I'll tell you, people, I got a 24-hour ban. Ya boy. As far as I could remember, I had never been in Facebook jail, but I guess I was today, Facebook jail, because I couldn't post for 24 hours. And normally, I promise you, I'm like, I don't have a day. Like today, I had time, as they say on social media. Normally, during the week, during the day, I don't have time to be on Facebook. There's some days where there's no post, and there's just STEM research at night because I'm so busy during the day. But today was a day that I had time, and I spent a lot of time not liking and not responding and not posting anything on Facebook. And you know what? That's an extremely long day. And I'm still in jail, and I won't get out. So the reason why I was banned, and I made a mistake because when I responded to Marcus Chapman, I responded that someone had posted Hotel California, the video, or a video on Facebook, and I responded a line from the song, and the line from the song got me banned. Well, I went back to the post that my cousin made on his page, Todd DMT Hudson. Shout out to my cuz, who is more like a brother to me. We both are the same age, and we both got into DJing exactly at the same time. As a matter of fact, we kind of taught each other how to mix. I like to say he taught me how to mix, and he likes to say that we both taught each other. That said, he made a post. If I can find the post, I should have just stopped on it when I found it. Right. All right. So he posted a meme where a bunch of people are sitting around a dinner table like at Thanksgiving, and they all are staring down into their phones, and on it says, the Eagles were right. We are all just prisoners here of our own device. And to that I replied something like, just stab them with your steely knives, which is a line from Hotel California, because if we're going to do the whole Eagles thing, if we're going to do we're just prisoners here of our own device, and people are staring into their phones, I say just stab them with their steely knives, because guess what? It's Thanksgiving, they're cutting a turkey, and there's steely knives around. Well, guess who doesn't appreciate that? Mark Zuckerberg, who thinks that's violence against families Mark Zuckerberg and the team at Facebook. So they let me know that I was banned because I am encroaching. I am asking for violence against families. I'm asking them to be stabbed with steely knives. The most hilarious reason for a ban. I'm all for it, bro. Give me a day off. Thanks. Not even thank you. Y'all know I'm a thank you guy, right? I believe in thank you. I never say thank you, but guess what? To Facebook, thanks. This way I didn't get to make any smart or smarmy comments all day. I didn't get to like or love anything. I didn't get to say anything nice to anyone in their inboxes because they posted a really, really sweet or sexy story today. I didn't get to post anything because I couldn't. Say John 46, good evening to you, Elliot Range. Elliot Range says, F Zuck. Absolutely, F him. F him. So, stab him with a steely knife. Now watch this get banned. Look, it's a line from Hotel California. They stab them with their steely knives, but they just can't kill the beast. And what are we having for Thanksgiving and Christmas? Roast beast. So we're trying to stab it with our steely knives. So note to selves, if you're writing the word steely, the word Dan better come after it, not knives. Oh, man. Gotta love social media. Gotta love it. And you can't fight it. Why would you? Why would you fight it? So I don't know. You know, what's next? The 10-day ban, you have your 10-day, you have your 24-hour, your 10-day, your month. Facebook. You know, I have only been posting on the socials, mostly just talking about the shows that I do. And I broke up the monotony of that over the weekend, and I posted that, hey, the dog did eat my homework once, and it did. It just popped in my mind, and I thought I'd post it, and, whatever, got 5 replies, but I don't care. It was just on my mind. Sometimes the dog does eat your homework. Eat, when I say eat, did the dog devour, swallow, and then, shit it out? No. The dog grabbed the homework from the table, chewed it up, beyond recognition and turning in the next day, and went about its business. Why? Why, fam? That's my homework. Why are you just going to take that one piece of paper, that specific piece of paper, it up, and then go about your life? The dog did eat my homework. It happens. It really does in real life. I request an Eagles re-up. Yeah, YouTube doesn't play that. So there are 2 episodes of this show, STEM Research, that were recorded and played and are not on YouTube. But guess what? Both of those episodes are on Twitter. Those would be the Hotel California episode, which was done about a week ago. Throws hat. And the episode that was done Friday, the best of, which had Prince. So Prince and the Eagles, obviously no-nos. Michael Jackson, a yes. Any Michael Jackson songs? Absolutely, yes. Those are going to be on. So if you're looking for old episodes, actually I started doing YouTube at the end of October. So if you're looking for older episodes from October till now, those are up, except for Friday's episode, which was a best of. It's on my Twitter, which is Mike MFN Love, and of course they don't play that with the Eagles. I got a quick email on that one. These episodes will not. This is blocked because of Hotel California, because of Let's Go Crazy. And I was taking a nap during Friday's show. I was like, you know what? I would join in the conversation, but it's nap time. D. Nairi, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. STEM Research, it's all about the funk today with the group Slave. Slave is in the spotlight tonight. Just two songs from Slave, from really just two songs that are 2 years apart but are worlds apart as far as the group is concerned. We're going to start with 1979 and go back because we did Just a Touch of Love on this show the very first week we started STEM Research. STEM Research started June 14th, which was a Monday. By the end of that week, on the 18th, I was doing Just a Touch of Love. So it is time not only to bring it back, but it's time to bring it back and pair it with another song. Like I said, it's kind of like the second wave of the career of the group Slave from Dayton, Ohio. Now, it's kind of weird to tell the story backwards because you would really want to start with the beginning and then go to the end, but that's not how we're playing the stems tonight because I want to build towards Slide, which is the second song, actually the first single from the first album that went number one. So why would you start with 77 or 79 and go back? I just said that because we played this one already and I want to spotlight Slide second. So by 1979, the group Slave had gone through a few small changes. Steve Washington, who was the guy who more or less put the group together, is starting to step away from the group and do his own thing with Aura, members of Slave, who are now going to their own record deal. As a matter of fact, you see these spinoffs with groups all the time. Funk groups always have spinoffs. Phaso was kind of a spinoff of the Ohio Players, Parliament, Funkadelic, etc., on and on and on. You know, groups spinning off, doing their own thing. So Steve Washington is starting to, as I said, move away from Slave by 79. The fearless leader, the guy who conceptually put everything together. And as crazy as it sounds, it ends up being for the better. 1979 is when Slave turns the corner. They came out in 77, as I said, with Slide, which is the second stem we're playing tonight. But that song came out number one. They didn't have another major hit or memorable hit. Yes, they had the song Stellar Funk that charted at number 14 on the Black chart. But guess what? Mike Love doesn't remember that song at all. Now, do they have a greatest hits called Stellar Funk, The Best of Slave? They sure do. So that song resonates with someone somewhere. It just doesn't resonate with Mike Love in the Midwest. Sorry. So guess what? If you're a big Slave fan and you're like, bro, Stellar Funk is a cut, I'm sorry. I can't relate. I can relate to Slide and Nothing and then Just a Touch of Love. They put out 2 albums in between that. That's fine. That's great. I'm sure they're nice slices of funk. But for me, the second wave hit with the first cut on the Just a Touch of Love album with the black man holding the baby. Such a memorable album cover, right? The reason they turned the corner, not only because Steve Washington left the group, is because one of their engineers, who had been behind the scenes the whole time, Jimmy Douglas, actually steps up and becomes their main producer. So he kind of becomes the guy behind the Slave sound, and the Slave sound changes. Steve Arrington and Starlina Young, who had already been brought in an album prior, are now more featured in the group. As a matter of fact, they are what make the song go, other than the bass and the groove. Another thing you see is that the horns that will be spotlit very prominently on the song Slide are no more. Let's face it. These groups always went through all of these changes. When you're talking about funk in the 1970s, you're talking about bands and horn sections, right? You're talking Earth, Wind, and Fire. You're talking Kool and the Gang, Brass Construction, Cameo, the Commodores, and on and on and on, right? If you had a band, you had to have matching outfits and a horn section. It's just the way things went. The average white band, even though those guys were not matching, those guys came straight from Scotland like, this is what we're wearing, bloke. This is what we're wearing. We're not matching. It is what it is. But by 1979, the horns are more or less gone. Their entire horn section. Most of the group, 4 members of Slave in 1977 are horn players. It's brass, baby. Brass is a very big part of the funk. P-Funk, Parliament, everybody, right? So that's another part of the change. The sound smooths out a lot. And the sound of, it's really two different, like when I think of Slide, which is an incredible song, I think that sounds nothing like Just a Touch of Love or Watching You. Those songs are more, Slide is a funk song, and Just a Touch of Love is not, to me. Just a Touch of Love is disco. I wouldn't call it deep house, but it's sliding into post disco. You know, that post disco funk sound. Dragoon Knight, thank you for joining us. An exclusive thank you for joining us as well. Welcome to class, DJ Cirquette, Miss Shanita. Thank you for being San 303. You and your acid drum machine, thank you for arriving as well. So, class is in session. All right, so, again, Just a Touch of Love, a lot different sound, but still, even though, as I said, Jimmy Douglas has taken over the reins, you have the Hansler, Mark Adams, who is now more or less the face and the sound of the group, where God, what's the guy's name? Where Steve Washington would have been that person initially. So Mark Adams steps up, the bass player, and the bass has always been the thing that leads the groove with Slave. So on both of the songs, the bass and the guitars are what lead. It's just on Slide, it's a lot more of everything. It's a lot more of the funk. So let's slide into that, man. Let's get into it. Let's do what we do, break it down from the instrumental first, and then we will slide our way through all of the instruments one by one. And just, this is a great song. This is my favorite Slave song. It's not my favorite Slave album because that would be Showtime. And Showtime is the album that they are, what are they doing? They're like at a drive-through in space. They're doing the concert live from a drive-through in space. Why is this computer looking like this? Why is it acting up? Let's do Logic Pro and me, and it looks like that. Okay. My computer has a virus. See, it's not even from downloading porn. Who does that? Nobody does that anymore. Okay, let's change that. Let's close that out. Okay, there we go. Now let's go back. Just a Touch of Love. Don't close. There we go. You made changes. Don't save. Okay, let's see. There we go. All right, let's start it up. STEM research. Mike and MFN Love. I don't know what the stems are for tonight. Okay. Were you not listening? The stems for tonight are both Slave. They are Just a Touch of Love from 1979 and Slide from 1977. Both songs are Slave songs, and they will be our spotlight songs for tonight. We are spotlighting the music of Slave. Slave. If I'm not mistaken, it should be on the screen. Yup, sure is. There it is. Just a Touch of Love by Slave. All right. Forgive me. Forgive me for being a smart ass. I love you, Say John, as we call you. Say John. It might be Sajan 46, but Say John sounds so much better, and it's blacker. All right? So let's dive in, shall we? Just a Touch of Love, the instrumental of my favorite Slave song of all time, because it has one of the great bass lines from all Slave songs. I know you pop up. Everybody pops up. Thank you for popping up. Thank you for coming. That's what he said. Thank you for taking the time of your evening. It really means everything. So thank you. I don't mean to be a smart ass. I'm just a smart ass. L.P. Greer, the doctor. The doctor is in. Mark Adams on bass. Danny Webster on rhythm guitar. Rack Hicks on the lead guitar. Steve Arrington on drums. A much more stripped down version of Slave than the 1977 version, as we will see in our second S.T.E.M of the night. Number one rule with my favorite songs of all time: don't touch them. Don't touch my favorite songs of all time. Oh man, don't touch them. No, what are you doing? Don't remake that. You can remake. There's some great remakes out there. I'm Going Down. Excellent. She doesn't cry at the end like old girl from Rolls Royce, which, but it's a quality remake. She didn't have to cry. Old girl was going down. But this is one of my favorites. Like, no, stop. But Keith had a beggy voice. He had a voice similar to Steve Arrington, so it worked in a sense. But other than that, don't touch it. Clavinet in this song I would have never noticed, and I can hear now because I'm not hearing the vocal. And that's why we play an instrumental pass first, and so you can listen to the song, hear it in a way that you've never heard it before. nice tonight. Turn my mic up. Check 1 2. I had my mic up and I turned it down. Check. Thank you for that information, MC. That's dope. That's dope to know. All right, where do we start? You know where we start? We start with the drums. The kid, that's dope. My 9-year-old came into the room singing the words. Man, that warms my heart. Nothing warms my heart more, and I promise you this, nothing warms my heart more than when the young generation gets into older music. Like, it just says something about the musicianship and the vibe of the songs. The vibe of the songs is just undeniable. Like, you cannot deny that these songs do not have things that make you move. All right, let's start out with Stevie Arrington on drums, giving us a nice strong groove. Quality drum. Love the drum kit. Sounds wonderful. Wonderful sound. Produced and engineered by the great Jimmy Douglas. He's been Timbaland's engineer for most of his career. Also mixed Jay-Z's 444 album. Still active today. DJ Neil, thank you. Thank you for that. Yep, Jimmy Douglas. We talked about him, the great. He also produced and engineered Steve Arrington's Hall of Fame album, which is where I remember his name from, oddly enough. Boy, liner notes, man. OGs and albums and liner notes, like we just like, who's on this album? Are any of the slave, like when the Steve Arrington's Hall of Fame album came out, it's like, are there any of the slave guys on here? And that was the first place I noticed Jimmy Douglas's name. And then when Timbaland came out and his name was always on all the Timbaland songs, I was like, that's the OG, because it spells it with 2 S. Like, it's spelled like Frederick with 2 S's. Douglas. I was like, bro, That's the dude that mixed down. You know, he was the producer for an engineer for Steve Arrington's Hall of Fame. And then, of course, I start to go back and look at the Slave albums. I'm like, what do you know? He's been around even longer. I think he even had something to do with another older album. It might have been one of the Roberta Flack, Donny Hathaway albums. He might have had something to do with that too. I'll re-look that up. But yeah, big up to Jimmy Douglas. This is just quality drumming, man. That dude Shaka. What up? ArcGT, thank you for the subscription. Tier 1, 3-month subscription in advance. We appreciate you for believing in us. We're not going anywhere. Because guess what? This show is at night. I can do this show at night. Those daytime shows, struggling. Your boy's struggling. Struggling with the old man rap show on Saturdays. And that's just like my pride and joy, like my pride show. So we'll get to that though. All right, so drumming. As I said, courtesy of the drummer. Yeah, he's earning his money big time. Steve Arrington in a long line of drummers who became lead singers. Phil Collins. Okay, there's other people in that line. Ringo Starr. Come on, Ringo did some albums. This is, man, I love this. And you can hear the guitar leaking in, which sounds really dope. All right, let's just break down the drums. Break them down, okay. Kick, snare. That's a sharp snare. Oh, come on. Come on, Stevie. Good one. I knew my stimulators would not let me down. Arrington said he was known around Dayton as a drummer and not as a vocalist. Now we can hear why. Absolutely. He's giving you straightforward, but they're strong. All these guys, I mean, but I think to be in a band, you had to be able to hold a note. And we'll really see that not only when we play the vocals of this song, but in Slide, when they hit that note, and if you know Slide, you know that note, like where the band is all in on that note. It's a quality, man, the singing is nice. It's a quality harmony that they hit at that point. That guitar. Drax still playing with the band. Played off Danny. That's really cool. Alright, so I gotta stop that because that's like a 3-part harmonic section with the 2 guitars and the bass. So Drac, Danny, and the Hansler are playing this one big harmonic section that everybody is playing their part. So if I just play Drax's part, it sounds like it's offbeat. But it really is part of a three-part musical harmony. So when we do the bass, we'll get into that. That's dope. That's dope. I don't think I noticed that the first time around. Or if I did, I forgot. Hey, hey. I don't hear that though. All right, that's the end of the drums. Good job. Good job, Steve Arrington. You earned your money, sir, playing the drums and the singing, lead singing. All right. Straight into my favorite part of this record, courtesy of the Hansler himself, Mark Adams. Everybody had a nickname. Everybody. Well, not everybody. Like some of the cool, I think that was like an Ohio thing, because all of the bands in Ohio, their members, Ohio Players, Bootsy's Rubber Band, Slave, like they all had cool nicknames. So we got to start out with the Hansler on bass. Rest in peace. Rest in peace to Mark Adams. Air bass, please. Air bass me, please. All right, so let's take it back and let's bring in that guitar with Danny on guitar. As you can see on the screen, it says Danny Overdrive. Danny, of course, is Danny Webster. All of these guys were listed in the credits. Everybody that plays on the song gets writing credit. The song went to number 6 on the chart. Number 6. Number 9. Number 9. So it was a top 10 black hit. Number 9. Lot of competition in 79, ladies and gentlemen. It was tough to get that number 1 spot in 79. As memorable as this song is, as great as this song is, it was up against every 79. 77 to 79 is like two of the greatest musical years of the 70s. For them to have a number 1 song in 77, great. 79, you're pushing it. All right, so we'll start the bass over again, and we'll go with the guitar line, and then that third guitar part from Drac to complete the 3. Alright, let's take some time out for the guitars. Let's get the guitar some love. Danny Webster, track. Take it to the breakdown. Webster break. Say Mark E. Nasty. He's just smoking, man, doing his own thing. I love it. Of course, that's the big breakdown. Nobody eats on that break. It's also dope how they arrange the song as the song goes on. The choruses get shorter and shorter until they eliminate the chorus altogether, and that last verse it just goes to the break. Dope way of looking at it, man. S.T.E.M Research is the song where we get into the song. We get into the DNA of the song, what makes the song great. And what makes this song great are its many, many, many elements. All right? It's not just the drums, it's not just the bass, it's the strings, it's the Rhodes. It's time for keys. Vocals up next. We'll get to the vocals next. And that's what I never noticed in this song, is this clavinet. Never noticed that. The Rhodes I knew about. Shout out to Clay on the clav. So the funk band has become a keyboard band. Strings. More than likely keyboard strings. Works in its own space. Guitar, put that guitar back in there. The guitar works with everything because it's a hook to the bridge. Guitar stop. Let's let Clay eat on the Rhodes. It's S.T.E.M Research. We are digging deep into the DNA of Just a Touch of Love from Slave. Our second song of the night will be Slide from Slave from 1977, just 2 years earlier. Let me see how the clav goes with these strings. Let's see how that breaks down. I like how he's playing to it. That's nice. Now that part I know, but that also sounds like the Rhodes. STEM Research, Mike, MFN Love, or just Mike Love, thank you. Follow me on all the socials, and don't forget, on my YouTube channel, you can watch full episodes, all replays, all episodes on YouTube at Mike MFN Love, and on Twitter at Mike MFN Love. So subscribe to my Twitter page as well. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to YouTube. Beautiful, beautiful. Come on. It's your time. What up? Slapping the drums on the groove. Let's take the roads out. Let's see what they're going with. Everybody pauses for that. Everybody stops for that. So that. Shalice R. Thank you for joining us. All right, we are just about to, all of you who are just joining us, you're just in time. You're just in time for the vocals. Just in time for the words. All right. Just in time, bro. You made it. You made it. Congratulations. Oh, yeah, not the B vocals. I F this whole thing up. Okay. Keep it going. Vocal B is a completely different vocal take.
Just a little bit, girl.
There's a whistling on a track. All of that, which is part of what makes the song great. It's just somebody just whistling. Somebody whistles in the background. They turn it up, and it's part of the song.
Just a touch of love, a little bit.
Starlina.
Just a touch, love.
Kurt.
Just a touch of love, a little bit. Just a touch, love. Make me shine just a little bit, just a little bit.
With just a touch of love.
Send my mind just a little bit, just a little bit.
You've got to
Keep me high, baby, just a little bit, just a little bit.
with just a touch of love.
Can we spend some
Can we
time?
spend some time?
Just a touch of love, a little bit. Just a touch, love. just a touch of love, a little bit, just a touch, love.
Can we spend some
Can
time?
we spend some time?
They edited that out.
Just a touch of your love all the time. Soothes my mind. Just enough of your love soothes my mind, keeps me high. Just a touch of your love
gives
all the
me
time.
peace
Soothes my
of
mind. Just enough of your love soothes my mind, keeps me high.
Just a touch of love, a little bit. Just a touch, love.
Little peace of mind with love.
Just a touch of love, a little bit. Just a touch, love.
Stevie, verse 2.
Need it now, just a little bit, just a little bit.
Starlina.
With just a touch of love.
Makes me sound, baby, just a little bit, just a little bit.
You've got
Send fire through my spine, just a little bit, just a little bit.
That's my part.
with just a touch of love.
Can we spend some time?
We spend some time. Just a touch of love, a little bit. Just a touch, love.
Just a touch of your love all the time. Soothes my mind. Just enough of your love soothes my mind, keeps me high. Just a touch
one
of your love
touch
gives
all the
me
time.
peace
Soothes my
of
mind. Just
mind.
enough
I
of your
love you,
soothes my mind, keeps me
girl.
high.
Just a touch of love, a little bit. Just a touch, love. Just a touch.
That's a good question.
of
Is this
love,
vocal double?
a little bit.
I think it is.
Just a touch.
It might. I don't know.
love.
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie.
Make me shine just a little bit,
I think it is.
just a little bit.
Let's just play
With
one.
just a touch of love.
Send my mind, baby, just a little bit, just a little bit.
Sounds better double.
You've got to
Keep me high, just a little bit,
I think it is. double.
just a little bit.
with just a touch of love.
Can we spend some time?
We spend some time.
Just a touch of your love
Gives
all the time.
me
Soothes my
some
mind. Just enough of your love soothes my mind, keeps me high. Just a touch of your love
Gives
all the
me
time.
peace
Soothes my
of
mind. Just enough of your
Little
love soothes
bitty
my mind,
touch.
keeps me high. Just a touch of your love
Gives
all the
me
time.
peace
Soothes my
of
mind. Just enough of your love
Closer,
soothes my
closer,
mind,
baby,
keeps me high.
baby.
Just a touch of your love
Gives
all the
me
time.
peace
Soothes my
of
mind. Just enough
mind.
of your love soothes my mind, keeps me high.
Soothes your mind. Soothes your mind. Soothes my mind.
That's my part.
Keeps me high. Soothes my mind.
JCI.
Keeps me high. Soothes my mind.
All right, so I want to back it up. Literally running into the 9 o'clock hour. Okay, so let's give the background some love. This little background singing.
Just a touch of your love all the time soothes my mind. Just enough of your love soothes my mind, keeps me high. Just a touch of your love all the time soothes my mind. Just enough of your love soothes my mind, keeps me high. Just a touch of your love all the time soothes my mind. Just enough of your love soothes my mind, keeps me high.
All right, so let's see what Starlina does. Let's give Starlina's background some love solo.
We spend some time.
We spend some time. Gives me peace of mind. Gives me peace of mind.
Little bitty touch.
Now for Steve's lead.
closer, 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 baby, baby. A touch of love.
Soothes your mind. Soothes me high. Soothes my mind. Keeps me high. Soothes my mind. Keeps me high. Soothes my mind.
Just a touch of love.
Just a touch of your love all the time soothes my mind. Just enough of your love soothes my mind, keeps me high. Just a touch of your love all the time soothes.
Just a touch of love gives me peace.
Well, what Marcus is saying is
Just
making
a
sense because
touch of love.
this track is labeled vocal double plus Danny Bridges. So
Just a touch of love.
So Danny's probably
gives me peace.
Danny's singing backgrounds with Starlina on this. So he sang on the record. He just didn't sing lead. So that's interesting that what he's just said is proven in how these tracks are labeled by the engineer. They didn't use that.
With just a touch of love.
Maybe they did.
With just a touch of love. A little bit. Just a touch. Love. With just a touch of love. Just a touch of love. A little bit. Just a touch. Love. With just a touch of love. Just a touch of love. A little bit. Just a touch. Love. With just a touch of love. Just a touch of love. A little bit.
She's missing that
Just
note though.
a touch. Love. With just a touch of love. Just a touch of love. A little bit. Just a touch. Love. With just a touch of love. Just a touch of love. A little bit.
Come on.
Just a touch. Love. With just a touch of love. Just a touch of love. A little bit.
Just a Touch of Love from Slave from the Just a Touch of Love album from 1979. Our first STEM of the night on STEM research. We are going to dive into the second STEM of the night, which is more Slave, Slide. We're going to take a break, come right back. STEM research. Mike, MFN Love. Oh, yeah. All right, no one's been asking for it, but you're going to get it anyway. Tomorrow, we will finally have this song, Joyous, will be one of the stems on STEM research. You hear it every day. You hear it every day, and now it's going to be a STEM, so there. All right, so tomorrow on STEM research, join us 8 o'clock Central as we present Joyous from Pleasure and more funk. It's another, I had been ignoring the funk on this show, and I said, you know what? It's time. It's time that we bring about the funk. Tomorrow, the Barkays, Holy Ghost. Oh, like the Barkays singing Holy Ghost. And Pleasure with Joyous. So, Holy Ghost and Joyous tomorrow on STEM Research. Please join us for the funk as the funk continues. The bands, the funk, the horns. Super excited about that. All right, let's dive back into today's shows. Any cameo? We're working on it. All right. The big bands, man, of course. It would be great. It would be great to have some cameo. Always, man. Earth, Wind, and Fire, all these bands. I never know what stems are falling out of the sky. I never know. I just look over the STEM list. Oh, Holy Ghost? Yeah, I'll take that. Looking over the list, Slide by Slave? Sure. Perfect. My kind of stuff, man. Give me that. So, as we get them, as they come in my direction, I serve them up. Rap and hip-hop, they're there as well. So, got some great stuff coming. Some great songs. Let's see what folks are talking about in the chat. So you think had he not disappeared would have been lead. What about Confunction? All right, how about we chill with the whatabouts? When I get them, I'll play them. All right. What about Confunction? What about Earth, Wind, and Fire? What about Cameo? What about Kool and the Gang? Yes, absolutely. These are all songs that I look for, and I like to play the real stems. Now, don't be confused. There are softwares, and I talk about this from time to time on the show. So there are softwares that separate these songs into 4 separate parts. Those 4 parts would be like bass, drums, vocals, and music. And while you guys would probably not even give a shit, right? You wouldn't give a shit because it'd be like, oh, that's cool. I give a shit because this show is what it is in my mind. So I to a fault am a perfectionist. So STEM research to me is we are taking the actual stems, not these stems that we went in and we made and we subtracted and we took all of these things and we made stems, but the actual studio sessions. So sometimes those actual studio sessions are not always what we're looking for, right? So I'm looking for Cameo, I'm looking for Luther Vandross, I'm looking for Prince, I'm looking for Michael Jackson, I'm looking for this and that and this and that. And while it would be great to have all of those things in due time. So things are all leaking as we speaking. It's funny because a song from That's the Way of the World, like my guy was like, yeah, I'm going to get the stems to fill in the name of this song from That's the Way of the World. I can't remember the name, but it's like a banger. It's like an album cut, which is like, oh God, really, Mike Love? Another album cut of a song we don't know? Can you do a hit? But trust me when I say these songs are bangers. And that's what this show is about. This show, for me, again, is about exposing people because as the local guy, and forgive me for standing on my soapbox for a minute. So I'm on my soapbox. the local guy is looked at as the guy. Just play the hits, bro. If I want somebody, if I want to get deep, if I want to get, I'll watch Jazzy Jeff or I'll watch Questlove if I want someone to give me a deep perspective on music. But not you. I want you to just play the hits, but that's not what I'm here for. All right, so let's dive into the second stem of the night, which is from 1977, the number one black song, or one of many songs that went number one on the black chart in 1977. What a great way to come out the gate, right? Slave comes out the gate in 1977. First single from their first album goes number one. It's a classic. It is a funk classic. It comes on, it's bass, it's guitars, it's horns. As I said earlier, this is Slave as a 1970s funk band that goes along the lines of everything that was happening at that time. Earth, Wind & Fire, P-Funk, Brass Construction, Commodores. Everybody came out as a funk band. And then over the years, their sounds started to change. Cameo even came out. Everybody had a brass section though, man. It was very important in the 1970s to come out the gate with horns. But as the music started to change and as disco became the more prevalent music, and as bands and as having 8 and 10 members of a band didn't make financial sense, then you started to see some of these members of these bands, all of the bands to be honest, Cameo most famously, started cutting members out and started using session musicians. But everybody came in the door with all these big dreams. Oh, we're going to be the next whoever. We're going to have 30 members and, a big old band and, Barcades. It's not Barcades. I was thinking Confunction. Like everybody came in the gate very similarly. And then over time, the sound started to change. Now, you saw that change with Just a Touch of Love. Just a Touch of Love, although it is a bass and guitar-driven song, is not the funk, bass, and guitar-driven song that Slide is. So let's dive in the Slide. Let's dive. Great vocal performances by the band. No Steve Arrington. He's not in the band at this time. Vocals are done by committee. Everybody in the band, not everybody in the band, but our stimulators will let us know who's singing lead. The first voice you hear on the song is Drac, and he's like, you call me, not like Dracula. But you can tell that Drac and Mark Adams, Danny Webster are coming together as the vocal performers of this song. So let's dive into the instrumental. It's a great one. It's absolutely priceless. And then we will break down the instrumentals. What am I doing? I'm sorry. Let's go back. I hit the wrong thing. That's never happened on this show, has it? All right, let's go. Let's go to the instrumental. Check 2. I knew Doc B would be here for Slide. I knew Doc B would be here for Slide. Doc, I know this is your joint. Welcome, Dr. BMKE. Barbecue when I hear this. Okay, that's dope. It's much better to have the original stem for the song because that's what makes this show cool. shows on social media, but there's only one stimulus. Is my man breaking down slide? Is he doing just a touch of love? Absolutely not. No shade to my guy. Does an incredible job. He's a musician, he knows his stuff. Come on, Keys. Rhodes. I love it. Guitar solo. Horns a little buried in the mix, but that's only because this is a rough mix. Oh, watch out. Overload. There we go. Oh. ending. Slave with Slide from their very first album. Marcus Chapman mentioned this in the comments. A couple of these guys, Drac and Mark, were 15, 16 years old when they recorded this. So just imagine like you're watching them perform this on Don Kirshner's rock concert, and they're literally teens. And they look like adults, though. It's just, people just looked older in the 70s. I don't know. Or maybe it's just because it's a certain type of band. But I remember, guys in my neighborhood jamming out jamming out with their instruments in the attic, in the basement, and practicing, just trying to be the next big band and killing it. These guys were teenagers as well. And in my neighborhood, I remember them. So just imagine just a bunch of kids from Ohio just become this band, and they have a number one song, and all these great things happen after they put this song out, but they're 15, 16 years old when their record drops. So this is why STEM research is STEM research. This is why I only use stems, actual studio stems, because listen to how crisp those drums sound. All right, so this is pre-Steve Arrington, so this is not Steve Arrington on drums. This is Tiny Dozier, your man Tiny, in the first set of musicians, and that's something that happens with bands, right? Happened with Rufus and Shaka Khan. It was a revolving door of members and people who played with Rufus who were initially part of the beginning, and a couple of albums in, they decided they didn't want to have anything to do with him anymore. An album in, they're like, I'm out of here. That's something that happened with bands. But the more popular you get, the bigger you get on the feeding chain, the food chain. The bigger you get, the more you attract great talent. So it's a lot easier to find a great drummer than it may have been initially. These drums are crisp as fuck. Come on, Tiny. Got this album signed by Drac in 07. Come on, MC. Just got funked. I need a cigarette. All right, we start out with drums as we break down the track. We are breaking down Slide by Slave from their first Cotillion album. Cotillion, the purple Cotillion, right? Out the gate, number one on the black chart. What it do, Pop? Not bad. Top 40, went to number 32 on the pop chart. So shout out to the big wigs at Cotillion for dropping the checks and making that record do what it did. Can you imagine hearing this on your favorite top 40 station? Slide. And this is 77, so. Percussionist also Tiny Dozier doing work. Bicycle horn. vocals leaking through a little bit. Let's let Mark Adams eat. Heavy lifting. The heavy lifting in this song is the bass line. It is the hook for me. $15, $16 in a funk band. Can you believe it? That's dope. Do your thing, man. Do your thing. Love it. All right, let's get to some other instruments. Start out with the bass and let's go to some guitars.
We're rolling. Here we go.
See, look at that engineer. He's not counting in, but he's there. We're rolling.
We're rolling. Here we go.
As I said, this first incarnation of Slave, full brass section. You got Steve Washington on trumpet, Floyd Miller on trumpet and trombone, Tom Lockett Jr. on tenor and alto sax, Bimmy on alto and tenor sax. So you got 4 guys ready to go at it. Funk Boy, Ohio, Detroit, mostly Ohio. Steve Washington is from Jersey. Let's give him credit for bringing the band together. Clap, clap, clap. He's gone. He's absolutely gone. Come on. Tape ran out. All right, we have not done the roads. And if I'm not mistaken, someone in the comments said it's the roads for me in this song. The roads. So let's give the roads some love. Dope. Carter Bradley, one of the original members of Slave. And of course, the Hansler, Mark Adams on bass. Updates on these guys now, or did you not do that first them? Song with Parliament in Milwaukee, but never again or offered again. Some of the guys have passed on, and they passed away at pretty young ages too. Mark Adams and Drac. Both passed away. Died in 2020 at 61. So what's crazy is the guys that were the young bucks when they joined the band at 15 and 16, Mark Adams died in 2011 at age 51. Drac died at age 52. And as I said, Danny Webster was a singer and guitarist. He died at the age of 61 just last year in 2020. We know Steve Arrington is still alive and still around, although he was not a part of the band in this era. So that's the update I got on the original members that continued on into the later years of the band. Yeah, they were young as hell. Mark Adams was murdered. Damn. Thank you for that information, MC. Shout out to the percussionist. I brought my bike horn to the studio. I'm using it on this song. Who does that? S.T.E.M research, where we play around with the sounds, dropping out instruments, letting instruments breathe. Drums in the roads, courtesy of our guy Tiny on drums, Carter Bradley on keys, Sun is here, Conscious, which gets no credit, no props. I think it was a B-side of a 45, which is why it doesn't get the credit it deserves. I was looking for Conscious on a 45. I was like, I know this was a single. It was a B-side. One of the great Sun songs. Come on. Beauty of the song Slide. So many elements that you do not, or maybe you do get to notice, you do hear them, but we go through them and we solo them. Solo, of course, means just to play those parts solo, and you get to hear them in a way that you've never heard them before, and unless you watch the replay on YouTube, you'll probably never hear again. All right, it is time for the vocals. Vocals by committee on this one. All right. I'm guessing Mark, Drac, Danny, and the rest of the band singing background. But when they hit that harmony, it's a tight harmony. I love it. The song, of course, starts with everybody knows it. So let's start the track. Let's get into the vocals, the final part of the song. S.T.E.M research.
They call me Drac. Here I come, baby. I ain't gonna bite you. I just want you to hang on. All right. Sounding like an empire to me. What is it?
Slide with me, won't you come away? Don't worry, baby, everything's okay. You can run the game if you don't know my name, yeah.
Come on with the tenor.
I'll take you where you've never been before.
To the hook.
There's something for you, a whole lot more. You ain't got to sneak, everyone knows you're free. Slide, slide, slide.
Yeah, baby, baby.
Slide, slide,
Yeah,
slide. Slide, slide.
Harmony.
Why don't you slide?
Oh, they could sing. Oh, he went straight Junie on that. Feel a little Junie Morrison, a little Ohio, of course. Ohio always representing.
I hope we did it to you.
Junie influence, of course, on that Junie Morrison.
And don't be afraid, cause you're gonna be late.
I need you now, don't let me down.
You're a low down lady, but your game is kinda shaky.
Be around when you want to get down. All right. I like that.
P-Funk influence.
I'll let my grandmother check that out.
Slide, slide,
Nice.
slide, slide, slide,
Yeah.
slide, slide,
Yeah.
slide. Why don't you slide?
I love that harmony. Love that. Like, they're not even singing up into that part. It's just like we're kind of half talking, half whatever, half funking around. But when we get to that, oh, it's about to be on. So let's just play the background by itself.
Slide, 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 slide. Why don't you slide?
Y'all know I'm a sucker for harmony. I'm a sucker for harmony. Even in a funk band.
Well, somebody please let Drac out of his coffin. All right. Here he comes.
Guitar solo. Letting Drac out of his coffin, of course. All right, let's move it up a little bit. As you can see, not a lot of vocals in this song. It's a funk banger.
You can slide with me, come on in. You can slide with me, come on in. You can slide with me, come on in. You can slide with me, come on in.
Okay. See if there's any difference between the two. You have the lead vocal track and the background vocal track. It's definitely not a double.
You can slide with me, come on in. You can slide with me, come on in. You can slide with me, come on in. You can slide with me, come on in.
Might be a double. Might be. Just destroying the bass. Just absolutely destroying it.
Why don't you slide?
The one and only Slave. That's it. That's it with the vocals. Not a lot going on vocally. Talking a lot of shit. Ohio, representing Ohio to the fullest, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it, man. Great song. Great. Absolutely. Whew. Man. All funked up after that one. Just a lot of great elements in that song. And that's why I love, again, to present the songs like this. You know, to have 16 tracks recorded in 1977 and then to be able to go through them. It's nothing like it. It's not the same show if I, just take the stems and make them myself and then play these filtered vocals and these filtered drums and all of that. That's no fun. That's not why we're here. Tomorrow we'll be back, though, with another show. Tomorrow we're back with Pleasure, the song that we use as our interlude. So I'm going to have to find another interlude for tomorrow. Pleasure with Joyous. And we've got the Barcades with Holy Ghost. Your love is like the Holy Ghost. Man, they just, like, the metaphors in these songs that we played today, Just a Touch of Love, is about sex. Like, let me get some sex. Slide is like, let me slide in between your legs. I'm 90% sure. 90% sure that song is not about slide bass or slide guitar. I'm pretty sure it's something that has something to do with sex because it's rock and roll, it's soul, it's funk. It's always about sex. So, your love is like the Holy Ghost from the Barcades. Come on, it says it all. Like, I didn't even get that until I was an adult. As a kid, I was like, I remember someone not saving the story till tomorrow because that's always what I do. All right, I'll save the story for tomorrow. I'll save the Holy Ghost story for tomorrow because some of the Christians and some of the saved folks were very offended by that song when I was a kid. That much I remember. So tomorrow, Holy Ghost from the Barcades and Pleasure Joyous from Pleasure. Make sure you are here for that. That's why I call it Horny Young Boy Funk. All this time I thought it was going to come morning, but it's come on age. See? STEM research. We all hear something. We all can hear something for the very first time. It's like we were hearing it, but we weren't hearing it. All right. Let's say our good nights and our thank yous because I am so thankful for you, the viewer and the listener, for being here. So thank you to Arc GT, Claire Surshai Story, DJ Neil 1, DJ In a Soul, DJ Cirquette, Dr. B MKE, thank you. Dragoon Knight 5515, thank you. Elliot Range, thank you. Farming Girl, thank you. Caxi PS06, Ladybug X3, Lana Ray, thank you. Marcus Chapman, thank you. Miss Jatan, Miss Shanita, exclusive, thank you. On 3D, Say John 46, San 303, Sega Dream, thank you. Simsei 08, Spike Trap Claire, Virgo Pros, and Xylane. Thank y'all for being a part of what we do here. We call it STEMmy Stems. I call it STEMmy Stems. But the show is STEM Research, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Central. Let's try to raid somebody before we get out of here. Thank you again to Arc GT for subscribing for 3 months, Tier 1. Thank you for the new followers. We're up to 650 followers. I love it. I freaking love it. Thank you. It's a labor of LOVE, Monday through Friday. All right. Thank you for riding with the funk. Thank you for riding with the soul and the disco and all the other great things that we do on the show. Let's see. The real Dark Knight is on. Let's raid him. Have a good night. Class is dismissed.